Hi guys, welcome back to another video. The sun is shining in my eyes. It's currently 8 a.m. I was gonna say Friday morning, it's a Tuesday morning. It's a Wednesday morning, fucking hell. It's a Wednesday morning, it was Pierre's birthday. We actually just went for coffee at Jack's. I walked Cosmo, she's in the back of the car. Now we're gonna go home. I need to go and stop and get coffee, and I need to get berries for my breakfast. And then in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how I've lost 11 pounds in the last 11 weeks. I've been in a fat loss phase, and I am going to Bali in a week, so I thought, you know what? I will tell you what the story has been. So let's go and get into the day. So we're going to do a sit down video for this one. I bought this chair in Ikea and I love the look of it, but not gonna lie, I feel like it's not very practical. I feel like I never sit on it because it's like not big enough. I feel like I need a chair maybe with arms so that I could like edit on it or something. I feel like I always sit over there. I love my office, but there's parts of it that I'm like, I wish it was a bit more creative looking. This is probably the only room in the house that has like really good lighting. The rest of it is quite dark. Anyway, we'll not get stuck into that. I wanted to tell you 11 things I've been doing to lose 11 pounds in 11 weeks. So for context, I came back from New Zealand. I actually remember being in New Zealand and like looking at myself in the mirror in the caravan park, and I was like putting my clothes on and I felt so fluffy, right? That's the only way I can describe it, okay? I'm not shitting on myself. I'm not telling myself that I wasn't good enough or anything like that. This is literally just me talking about how I'm feeling, okay? So don't be taking this and interpreting whatever way you want it. Basically, I put my clothes on and I was like, oh my god, I do not feel good in myself. Like I came back out to Niall and I was like, I feel like a puffer fish. Now I actually genuinely do think something happened on that trip where I was like so inflamed. I don't know if it was like lack of sleep, if it was like, I don't know, the fucking different weather. I don't know what it was. Like I obviously was consuming more calories, but honestly not that much. Like I will say this, that I am a small human being. Like I am short and I have an appetite of a fucking, I don't know, 6 foot man. I grew up in a household where we definitely overate because our like meals were very big, so I only ever knew that. And now that I'm older, I'm like, Tara, your maintenance is just not very high. Like it's very easy for me to gain weight, very easy. Now I know that it's also down to like habits and stuff like that, like, but comparing myself to, not comparing, but like contrasting myself to like my friends, say for example, like even Karen, she's one of my best friends, she's so tall, right, and quite slim physique, and she's like, my maintenance calories are like 2,000 something. Like my maintenance calories are definitely not very high at all. They're a lot lower than hers, for example. So I have to eat very little in a deficit or quite lower in order for me to be able to get into like extremely lean physique. Now that's frustrating, but I prefer personally to be in like a good decent deficit, not too aggressive, because I don't want to binge. I don't want to feel like I'm very restricted. I want to enjoy my life. I want to have energy, all of the things. So that's kind of like where my head was at whenever I was coming back. I was like, I'm feeling a bit bloated. I'm feeling a bit like meh, and I wanted to feel really good at myself for going to Bali. Now I'm going to Bali in 1 week and I'm so fucking excited. I actually cannot wait. I feel like this is the first ever winter I've done in Australia, so this was a great time to lock in. Usually I'm away traveling and stuff. I've locked in, I've done so well, I've been so consistent, and I smashed it. So I wanted to tell you guys so that you could potentially do it if it's something that you wanted to do. And it's also an insight into like my style of coaching that I obviously coach clients with as well. So let's get stuck into the 11 things. So the first one that I have written down, and I'm not going to go straight in with the calorie deficit one, that's coming a little bit later, is that I have one piece of chocolate every single day, okay? Every single day in the evening time, I have a cup of tea and I have one small marvelous creation. Like bear in mind guys, this is probably like a 95 calorie bar, but I don't know what it is. I just fucking love it and I need it after my dinner. I love a sweet treat. So I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to have that. So I have one of them a day, and every day my brain knows, girl, don't be feeling like you're not getting anything, because in the end you're going to be able to get this, and we're going to have our chocolate, we're going to have our tea. I sit down, I try not to be on my phone when I have it as well, so that I'm like, okay, I can, have my tea, be present in my body, actually taste the food, because a lot of the time we just fucking inhale things, we don't even taste it. So that's one thing that I've been doing every single day, and it's worked a treat, and I feel like I'm not feeling restricted and I get to have what I want. The second thing is drinking 2 coffees a day, okay? I actually drink 2 milky coffees a day. Now I will say the caveat with this, I take the piss out of people all the time about black coffee. Recently, and I am okay with black coffee. I'm okay with ice long blacks. Very strong coffee out, black, that rips through my bowels. So I never would have that. I would never have a black coffee on an empty stomach because my stomach would tear from the inside out. I'm actually drinking coffee with milk right now. It's just like a long black with a dash of milk because I didn't have enough milk. I'm okay to drink this now. And even in the last week, I'm like, okay, like I can have one milky coffee as a treat. I can move down to like having a black coffee with some milk. I will never just drink black coffee to suppress my appetite. I just love coffee. I love the ritual of having a coffee. Like I made this for this video so I could sit down, I could drink it. So
I just love it so much. But yeah, I drink 2 coffees a day, and part of it, yes, it does suppress your appetite, but for me it's like a ritual, it's a treat. So like every time I do something hard, like go for my workout for example, or go for my walk in the morning, my reward is going to get my coffee after, and that to me is just slay. Okay, slay the day. The third one is I eat a big breakfast. This is definitely something I used to do when I was younger. I used to eat like the smallest breakfast ever, but now I eat a proper big breakfast. So I'm gonna slide over into a different clip so that you can actually see, because I recorded that earlier, and then I'll come back for the next one.
I just wanted to jump in and show you guys what I have for breakfast. So this is one of the breakfasts that I was having probably for like half of my deficit. The other half I've been having just like a massive yogurt bowl, like so much yogurt, and then just fruit in it, honey, and a little bit of psyllium husk. Delish. This is a different one. So this is 3 eggs, or else 1 egg with egg whites, a slice of toast, just one, with cottage cheese and a little bit of avocado. Breakfast is supposed to be filling, okay? This wee 300, 200 calorie breakfasts, no wonder you're fucking starving all day, and that's why you can't stop eating overnight. And that's also why you can't stop overeating in the evening. If you actually just give yourself a big breakfast, honestly, your hunger hormones will not be thinking, I'm fighting for my life here, I don't know when I'm going to get my next meal. They'll be like, thank you, I know when my next meal's coming. It's so much better. So make sure that you're eating a big enough breakfast, okay?
Okay, the next thing is the probably most important thing, is to plan your week. So I plan my week on a Sunday. I put all social events, like anytime a friend tells me something's on, I put it into my calendar ASAP. So that means that I can go and I can have a little look and I can see, okay, this is what I've got on this week, this is what's coming up, this is like the birthdays, the social events, this is when I'm seeing this friend, this means I'm seeing them, I don't need to go to this event. Like, I am very particular when I'm in a fat loss phase to be like, okay, I'm getting my social occasions in, but not all of them are around food and not all of them are around alcohol. I get like quote unquote 1 token a week that I give myself, then like, right, you're allowed to go to a social event. Now, likely that even if I go to that social event, it wouldn't even be including food, but it might mean that I'm like out and I'm getting like coffee, and maybe I'm getting like a yochi or something like that. That would be more aligned with my goal, or I have a good bit of control. I honestly, in this last 12 weeks, I have had a weekend away. I've had nights out and stuff, but I've had like 2 drinks. Like last weekend, I went out for Pierre's birthday. I had 3 drinks. That's the most drinks I've had in the last 12 weeks in one night. I'm not a big drinker. I'm not a big drinker at all. I grew up with alcohol not being the best relationship in our family. So I have no problem being like, I can take it or I can leave it. I can have a ball or I cannot. I used to drink a lot, but right now in this phase of my life, and to be honest, over the last like 6 years, I've really stopped drinking it very much because it just makes me feel like shit. So that bit doesn't really impact me, and I personally feel like I love my friends. I can meet them for coffee. I don't need to meet you over a drink, and like they well know that. If I want a marg, I'll have a marg. I just don't really feel like I need one all the time. So planning out my social events has been the best thing ever, because it means that I know when I need a calorie bank. It means I know when I need to have my steps done by. It means I know when I have to get my food chopped done, because I'm not like, oh, random night out. No, they're all planned. If it's random, to be honest, I'm probably not going, okay? If you're springing multiple events on me, I'm not going to multiple in the week. That's an energy thing, plus it's a deficit thing, and I just feel like I just don't need to be going to everything all the time. I just don't, okay? And that works for me, okay? You might be a socialite and you'll be like, that doesn't work for me, but again, I would rather meet my friends for coffee, go for a swim, go for the gym session. I can do that as well, and then I get to see them in these events. So I've definitely been going out. I'll insert pictures here. Not that you're thinking, oh, she's locked herself in the house. I'm not like that at all, but I am very social in my like activities and my movement, rather than just with food and just with alcohol. That is the trick to being in a deficit, because you still want to have fun. Number 5 is saying no to things. I kind of just briefly touched on that, but I have no issue. I have no problem with boundaries. I am probably the boundary queen. Now, what I will say is that this is not always the way I used to be. And I think having moved away and like getting a new quote unquote set of friends, like some of my friends are over here from home, but majority of which I have like made new friends since I've moved here, or in the last few years, like they only know me in the identity of the person I am now. Previous friends would know me quite differently. So like it's harder to have, I think, a boundary in an environment you've always been in. Whereas when I moved to Australia or even moved to London, I feel like I just was able to be who I wanted to be, and it wasn't too hard to just be like, this is what I do, this is my boundaries, this is where you'll see me. My friends like take the piss out of me nearly now, where they're like, oh, we know Tara's not going to come to that, like she'll be at this thing, but they don't hold it against me, and they're not like, oh, you don't want to be with me. It's just a thing that I'm just like, no, I'm with Niall, or I'm with Niall and Cosmo, or I'm at home, or I'm at work, and like that's my priority, or I want to just chill. And like I don't have an issue saying that, because I will show up for my friends when they need me. I will be wherever they want when they need me, but I do not need to be there all of the time. everywhere. I just don't, okay? It's not, I think that if you're there and you're barely present, there's no point you being there. You're better off being there and being fully present. I personally think that that is the best thing you can give in a friendship, but you don't need to be everywhere all the time. And this whole thing that we should be available 24/7, I'm not about it. I'm not about it. If you need me, you know where I am. I'm in my house. Number 6 is obviously I've been eating in a calorie deficit. You can't lose body fat if you're not in a calorie deficit. So for anyone who doesn't understand how that works, you need to eat less and move more in order to create a calorie deficit. To be honest, you don't need to move more. If you just want to eat less, you can, but you kind of want to balance out the energy equation as much as you can so that it's easier for you to eat as much as possible but still be in the calorie deficit, so it's sustainable for you. So I've been eating in a calorie deficit. I worked out that I was eating in and around 400 to 500 calorie deficit. I think initially I was about 300 to 400 and now I'm about 400 to 500 from my overall maintenance calories. I tracked, I'm going to let you in on a secret because I haven't actually really disclosed this on Instagram. The only reason I haven't disclosed this is because people would take it up wrong, but what I mean by that is they'll think that they don't need to do it as well. And I'm not saying everyone needs to track, but I tracked for the first 4 weeks of this and I actually haven't tracked my calories since because I've eaten very, very similar foods and I have genuinely been so honest with myself. Like when I overeat, whenever I'm like, oh, a weekend, I'm like, I don't use it to sabotage. I'm like, you've gone over, you're not in a deficit. Like I've been holding myself accountable in my journal and through my food diary to know like what I am having. I'm only able to do that though because I have so much knowledge from calorie tracking to know what I can fit into my diet. And I'm not saying that you can, like normal people can't lose weight without tracking, but I do think to some capacity you do need that knowledge in order for you to lose body fat because it has to be through a food journal or it has to be through tracking so that you can actually see what you're having so that you can improve upon it. And then a time will come where you are like, I don't need that anymore. So I've actually smashed this. I've been able to, lose my body fat without having to track my calories because I have been eating at the same time of day. I've been regimented in like I have breakfast this time, lunch this time, dinner this time. I don't leave the house hungry ever. I have the fridge is full of watermelon, it's full of yogurt, it's full of like berries. They're the things that I snack on. So as soon as I want a snack, I just go, I get that and I curb my craving. I'm not like, oh, you can't have that, you can't have that. I just have the like fruit, the yogurt, and then I have my little chocolate in the evening. I have my big main meals evenly throughout the day. There are at least 500 calories in each meal, and then I'm like, I feel satiated, I feel really full, I feel really good, I have a lot of energy from this food. And that's how I've been freaking smashing it, okay? That's how I've been smashing it. But I definitely did track at the start of this to know where I am. And I'm going on a diet break now, I'm going to Bali, and then I'm actually going back into my deficit after because I've got my hymn party. And yeah, I know that for those few weeks, because it's only a short period of time, that I want to lock in again. So I'm going to track when I get back to get myself back on track. And that's okay. The next thing about increasing your energy expenditure is your overall daily steps. So people don't understand this, but you essentially burn calories in 4 different ways. You've got your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories that you just burn by being alive, okay? You can't really change that metric, to be totally honest with you. The next one is the thermic effect of food. So you burn calories by literally eating and digesting food. So like the slower that you eat, etc., the better. You can kind of control that, but not so much of that. Then you've got your NEAT and you've got your EAT. So you've got your non-exercise activity thermogenesis and your exercise activity thermogenesis. Most people think that you burn the most amount of calories by your exercise, but actually it only equates to about 5% of your daily calories that are burned, whereas NEAT, which is your overall daily movement, which is your walking, your fidgeting, your cleaning, your moving around, that accounts for up to 15%. So you have a lot more control in the area of your NEAT. That's why you want to increase your overall daily steps. What I did was I looked at my average step count from my Whoop over, I'm not wearing it right now, but I literally took it off because I had put tan on the other day. I looked at my overall steps and I was like, right, I'm going to whack on 3,000. So I started with like 2,000. So I started by doing 12,000 steps a day and then I got my average up to 13,000 steps. So since I started to now, I've increased my average daily step count by 3,000. And that has been such a game changer because I'm out and about so much more. I'm in the house less. I'm eating less food inside the house in terms of like, I'm bored, I'll just sit around and eat. I'm out going for my walks. I also did get a golden retriever, so I will say that she has got me out walking so much and that's like the best thing ever. But increasing your daily steps is the easiest way to move, burn more calories without your hunger being increased, because walking is not something that is high intensity, so it doesn't spike your hunger. So it's really, really good for people who are trying to lose more body fat. I think people don't understand why they're given a step target. Like I even had a call with a client the other week and she was like, I'm not doing my steps. And I was like, why? And she was like, I just hate doing them. And I was like, do you understand why you're doing them? And she was like, no. And I explained it and she was like, oh. And I was like, if you don't do them, we are going to have to take your calories down lower for you to be in the same amount of deficit if you were to just increase those steps by a few thousand. So this is your sign to get up off your ass and go for your fucking walks, because it changes the game, girls. It's so good. It's honestly, walking is so good. And if you need, you can get a step, like a walking pad. I actually have one in the basement that I usually use in winter, but right now with Cosmo I walk so much that I don't need to. Okay, we are currently on number 8, I think. So number 8 is I have been training 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, I have been doing 4 strength training sessions, and I have been doing 1 run a week. That's Croissant Run Club. To be honest, I don't really count Croissant Run Club because it's so chill. Like, we are literally the most chill run club. If you're watching this, if you're in Sydney, if you feel like you want to meet people, come to Run Club. It's so good. But yeah, I do 5k every week, and that's just like my little 5k. The other sessions are I'm like training hard, progressively overloading, pushing myself. I have started since I had the miscarriage at the start of this year, which is also why I've gone on this like whole wanting to feel better in myself journey. I have gone to a classes-based gym. Last week I actually tried CrossFit, and I'm going to move over to the CrossFit gym, which is super exciting, but I'm just finishing out the current membership I have with that. I was going to locals in Rose Bay. I was loving it. I was making sure in my sessions I've been pushing myself, I've been upping my weights, I'm tracking my weights in there. That's what you need to be doing to progressively overload the sessions that you have. This works such a good time in my life because, yes, whilst I'm aesthetic driven, I just wanted to feel good. I want my mood up. I want to meet people in a day. Also with Cosmo, I don't have umpteen amount of time to go to the gym, because when she was a baby, I literally had to like run to the gym 40 minutes and come back. Like, it was very close to my house, so it worked out really, really well. And honestly, couldn't say better praises about it, because as a fitness coach, group classes can sometimes like be the worst thing ever for clients, because they're just being there, they're complacent, they're not looking, they're not even interested in what's happening. But if you are actually going to them and you're pushing yourself and you feel like it makes you really consistent, and you can see over time that your weights and reps are going up and you're getting stronger, then all hail the classes, guys, all hail the classes. But I will say that like my physique, muscular wise, has it's been in better condition from just like strict bodybuilding training, but I don't want to do that right now. That's okay. That's just not what I want to do. Okay, number 9 is I have cooked my own food, and I'm obviously getting married, so I have a husband to be, but he is the type of fella who loses weight by just saying I want to lose weight, and gains muscle by just saying I want to gain muscle. He's never in a calorie deficit, and he needs to eat a lot more food than me. He's just one of those who has a really high metabolism. So for this, we've actually done it that sometimes we'll switch over meals. Like, a lot of the time, if he's making something that aligns with me, I will have it, but I'm not making his food because it's not high enough in calories for him. Now, that doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for us, and he's like, I'm happy out if you want to do it that way for these like few weeks. So I've actually been doing that. We usually have been doing it more like I'll make myself my lunches, he'll make himself his lunches, and then we'll have like 2 dinners. So I'll make 1 dinner, he'll make 1 dinner, and then we kind of like swap the dinners over. So for example, I made fajitas this week and he's having fajitas, so he just makes his like higher calorie with like cheese and guac and sour cream, whereas I have my more like a bit of like a salad bowl with like some rice in there, but it's just like different composition. So we've been overlapping in some of the meals, but majority of my meals I am in control of, because if he was in control of them, they'd be super high in calorie, just because he's not in a calorie deficit. He's trying to eat in a surplus. Our goals are contradicting. It doesn't work out. But we do try and eat at the same time together. So we'll plate up our dinners at the same time. We'll sit, we'll be present with each other. And Niall's a very good cook. So sometimes he'll be like, oh, I'll cook you food. So he'll make like steaks and things like that, where it's like aligned with both of our goals. And then he has the option to make it higher calorie, and I can make it a little bit lower calorie. So that has been an absolute saving grace. And on the weekends, we try and make like something that's like nicer than what we would get like daily or in our week, but like not eating out all the time. So that has also been a really good thing for us to do, because it makes it interesting. The food tastes nicer. It's not bland. We're not eating the exact same thing every day, but we're eating things that we enjoy. You know what I mean? Okay, we only have 2 more left. Number 10 is accountability. Okay, I didn't hire a coach for this current phase because I had a few reasons. Okay, I am big on hiring a coach. I actually had a coach right up until the start of this year, when I had the miscarriage, when I had the pregnancy, etc., all that jazz. I went through a lot, obviously, and then I was like, right, will I get a coach? Like, I'm coming into like what I want, you know, like my hen, my wedding, all the things. But I was just not in the headspace for somebody, and I'm not saying all coaches would be like this, but like just pushing on my grind. I was like, I need to respect myself. I need to build discipline back in myself. I need to build consistency from a place of love. I want to like feel really good at myself, and I know that I can do this. So the way I chose to have accountability was I spoke about it online. I just said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold myself to the standard, and I did, and I really made it like my goal isn't even the weight. My goal is to show myself that I can do this. My goal is to show myself that I can show up for myself, that I don't need anybody else, that I can do this myself. I have done that and I feel really good, but I am considering in the latter part of this year that I might get a coach, depending on how the CrossFit goes, just for accountability and outsourcing. But I have used it a lot. I've been using my friends even for accountability. I've been using Niall for accountability. I'm in my journal literally fucking every day, making myself accountable. But if I feel like I need that extra level of motivation, I will. And like I said, I had a coach right up until there. And the only reason I didn't invest in it was because I personally didn't know anyone that I could go to feeling the way I was in my head. And I was investing a lot in like hypnotherapy and those things. And I was like, you know what, this is just a me journey right now, and when I'm ready I will go and I will get accountability. I think the best thing that you can do is outsource your help. I genuinely do. That's why I'm saying this one with caution, but the reason I chose to do accountability like online was just because it worked better for me and the headspace that I was in the decisions that I was making, because I was not coming at myself from a place of like hate. I was coming at myself from a place of like, I want to feel really good about myself in this chapter of my life. That's my main goal. Like I want to feel really proud, really confident, really good in my body, really sexy, like yeah, because I know that hopefully in a while, not very soon, but in a while, we will have kids one day, and I do want that. So yeah, I love that. And I think if you don't have accountability, you're not going to do it. Like reality is, like if no one was at work waiting on you to be there, you wouldn't go. Let's be honest. Okay, and the final thing, number 11, which you probably are going to think that it's some big thing. It's not. I have been journaling a lot, and you might be like, what the fuck has that got to do with fat loss? Girls, emotional regulation. Emotional regulation. If you're not emotionally regulating yourself, you are very likely using something, and I'm not going to say like a substance, but it could be substances, it could be drink, it could be toxic men, it could be whatever, it could be food, it could be negative self-talk, whatever it is. There's something that you're using to numb that feeling or to like keep that alive. If you don't emotionally regulate yourself, it's very likely that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing that's keeping you stuck where you are. Journaling is going to be your best friend in the entire world. In the entire world. I have every single client that comes to me journaling. I'm like, journal, get a piece of paper, get a pen, write it out. What's in your head? What is in your head? Because we all think that this is not a mindset game. We think it's just a calories in versus calories out. It's just these little tips, it's just these little techniques. I would not be able to do any of that if I was not emotionally regulated, because I say it all the time to my clients. I am somebody and who has previously really struggled with emotional eating, who would find a lot of dopamine from emotional eating. You might think that's embarrassing as a fat loss coach. It's not embarrassing. Obviously, if I'm emotional, I'm looking for something to numb my feelings. I don't want to feel my feelings, I want to feed them. I'm looking for dopamine, I'm looking for a quick relief. That is what I'm going to get. So it serves a purpose, but it doesn't serve the purpose for what I want. I want to be able to get angry, get sad, get stressed, and not overeat. I want to be able to still stay to the promises that I have for myself, but I also need to get that emotion out. How do I do that? I journal. I also journal about all the things that are going well, what I'm really proud of myself for, so that I feel I can keep this going from a place of like, fuck yeah, Tara. Like, I read back to my journal entries at the start of this year and like in the midst of everything that happened, and I'm like, somebody go back and give that wee girl a hug. Like, somebody go back and give that wee girl a hug, because fuck me, was she struggling. She was struggling so bad, and struggling in the sense that nobody could help me. Like, I just had to go through that phase in life, and I genuinely feel like we called our miscarriage, or whatever you want to call it, like fetus, Sprinkle, okay? And I genuinely feel like Sprinkle came into my life to teach me so much, and I think that I'm going through the most transformative year of my life. Like, I genuinely believe that, because mentally I'm not the same person that I was at the start of this year. I know I'm not the person that I want to be yet, but I am in the becoming phase, and that might sound fucking woo-woo, and it might be, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And if you said that to me at the time, I understood that, but I was just like, why? But why? Like, why me? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, that's what I just felt. I just felt so much grief. I felt so much sadness. I felt so much like, oh my God, like, I don't want the reality that I'm in. I want a different reality. And now looking back at that, I'm like, look at all that's come into my life. Like, look at my friends who came around me. Look at where I'm at in my mind and my body. Look at the things I've been able to invest in, like the lessons that I've learned. Cosmo is my literal daughter. Like, she is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I'm so grateful. We've made our wedding plans, we've planned everything in such a short period of time. Like, so much good has come into my life from this, and I'm not saying it never would have happened, but it would have happened in a different timeline. I was also someone who is and was like obsessed with work, like was just driven so much by like moving forward. And honestly, like in the last 6 months, like my business is doing so well, but like I'm okay that it's maintaining for the first time in my life. I'm okay that I'm like, I don't need anybody else. I don't need anybody more to be telling me that I need these things. Actually, I just need to come home to myself and like feel really good at myself so that I can then drive the vision forward rather than driving everything forward out of pain and feeling like I don't have enough or that I'm not enough. Because I have everything that I ever wanted in life, you know? Anyway, guys, that got a little bit woo-woo, that got a little bit savage, but I am 11 pounds down in 11 weeks, and that is the things that I've done in order for me to lose body fat. Hopefully it has inspired you. Hopefully that you can see that I come at everything from a very much behavioural change, mindset, habits, routines, mental regulation, emotional regulation in order for me to get to where I want to be. And that is what I do in coaching. That is what we do at Thrive. We are here to help you feel the best fucking version of yourself, not the smallest version. If you have a physique goal, nothing wrong with that. I'm happy to say that I have one too. I'm going to be in Bali in a week's time. I'm going to be shaking my ass. Hopefully this has helped you. It's inspired you that it doesn't need to be really hard, really toxic, really sad, really annoying, or like from a place of hate, like I'm not happy in myself. You can appreciate that you're not where you want to be and get change versus being like, I feel stuck in this body, I feel uncomfortable, I'm not happy, I sabotage, I'm da-da-da. If you don't work on that, girl, you are not going to be able to keep the results that you get. And we want you to keep them around here. So hopefully you've enjoyed this slightly different video. If you have, please like, subscribe. Guys, you don't know how much that means to me. I'm just over 500 subscribers. I'm posting a video every 2 weeks for the rest of the year until I build the consistency muscle, and then I get to upgrade to 1 video, but I'm not allowed to do that until I do 2, because right now your girl loves starting things and not necessarily completing them. And see, we're changing that habit, okay? I love you so much. I hope that you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.